So let's look at an example of elimination, which is a little bit more difficult. So we are given two equations here, and notice that the coefficients of our x variables and our y variables, they are not the same, but opposite signs. And let's just see what happens when we go to add two equations together that do not have equal but opposite coefficients. So 2x plus 5x is 7x. Negative 4y plus y is negative 3y. We get negative 7 plus negative 1 is negative 8. The result here is one equation that has two variables. And that is a problem. Okay, if you end up in a situation like that, just stop, because what you did is not going to result in a situation that you're going to be able to solve. So let's back up a bit. Let's try a different method. Well, we're still going to try the elimination method, but we're going to go about it a different way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply one of the equations by a number. It's called a scalar multiple. By a number that is going to give me a coefficient that is the same but opposite sign as the other equation. So we could just go through here and just ask ourselves, can we multiply the 2 times anything to get a 5? There's not a whole number that we can multiply 2 by to get 5. How about 5 times something to give us 2? The answer is no. Negative 4 times something to give us 1. No, we could divide by 4, but dividing, that's going to create chaos. But we can multiply 1 times something to give us 4. And that number is 4. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply the entire second equation times 4. So let's go ahead and do that. And the first equation, we're going to leave as is. And you can see now, our y's are the same but opposite sign. So when we go ahead and we add these two equations together, our y's end up canceling out. We get 0y. So now the result is one equation with one variable, which we then can easily solve. So we get negative 11 over 22, which simplifies to negative a half. So that's half our solution. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to take that value and we're going to substitute it back into one of the equations, and we're going to solve for y. So let's just take a look at those two equations. If I substitute negative a half in for x in the first equation, I get 2 times negative a half. That's easy math. If I did it into the second equation, I get 5 times negative a half. That's a little more complicated because the 5 is odd. So I'm going to choose to substitute it back into the first equation. And then I'm just going to quickly solve for y here. So 2 times negative a half, that's negative 1. And you can see here that looks like I get a pretty number for y of negative 2. So that means, as long as I did my math correctly, my solution is negative a half, comma, negative 2.